All right. Welcome to the Desperately Trying to Communicate podcast from Dynamite Hugs. I'm Tim.
I'm Matt Reed.
Oh, damn it. You stole my thunder.
I did.
I'm also the Matt.
All right. So, yeah, I'm here with Matt's today. It's just us three, which is fine. I've got a new scenery going on. Just moving to a new house, and it's exciting. Got some new digs. And we're just going to jump right into it. So,
who's that next to Spider-Man?
Dave Grohl. Who else would it be?
No, under the Marvel poster.
Yeah, that guy?
Yeah, that's Dave
Grohl.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's Dave Grohl.
Oh,
Get
it
your
is.
eyes checked, motherfucker.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why I thought it was a Silver Surfer.
No, it's Dave Grohl. See, okay, so someone walked into my room's like, I can't tell you like the Foo Fighters at all. Because I've got Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters poster. That's their album cover, and I have another Foo Fighters flag on the other side.
The more I listen to that album, the more it's slowly becoming my favorite album.
Really? It's really good.
Yeah.
I actually like it. It's like my least favorite.
There are a few songs on it that I really like.
Yeah.
But overall,
I honestly, I really do like it. I enjoy it. I still listen to it all the time. But we're talking about Sonic Highways.
Yeah.
Just for everyone who can't see the flag, the newest Foo Fighters album. It is very good. I listen to it all the time still because I am such a Foo Fighters fan. It's probably one of my least favorite albums, honestly. I kind of want to go back to the old writing process. I think it was super cool, and watching the show really helped me enjoy the album more. So that's the thing.
That's the thing. I didn't watch any of the show, and to be really, really honest, there were only two songs that I really enjoyed the first time I listened to that album, and that was
Outside and
Outside and Congregation.
Yeah, I really like Feast and the Famine too.
See, I didn't like Feast and the Famine because the first time I heard it, I thought one of the riffs was like a rip-off of a Holy Diver.
Oh,
or something.
That's from their first single they released off of it.
Oh yeah, that's not Feast and the Famine. That's
Wow.
Yeah, listen to it all the time, dude.
Yeah. Oh well, they play it all the time on the radio. Anyway, but have you guys heard the newest EP? Right, the Saint Cecilia EP.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yep,
it's super good. Like it's taken different songs he's recorded. He's written throughout the 20 years of being a band. And
it's the ones that just didn't make the cut, right?
Yeah, and I love them all. Saint Cecilia, though, was written while they were on Sonic Highways, though. They wrote it, and they recorded that whole...
makes sense, because it sounds like...
Yeah. They recorded that whole EP, though, in a hotel called Saint Cecilia while they were in New Mexico. Which is super cool. They were recording in bathrooms and stuff. It was awesome.
Got to get those acoustics just right.
Just right. I love those memes. The Emperor's New Groove memes. Have you seen them, Matt Reed?
No, I have not.
They're Peter, put one up. But it's
there's a quality meme.
Oh, look at that!
Good
It's so
meming.
funny. Okay, but it's these memes of Pacha from Emperor's New Groove, and it's whenever the something is just right, and it's like that scene where he's going
He's
this.
describing
I know
the hill on top of his house.
Yeah,
When the sunlight hits these hills just right, these hills sing. And so the internet has, of course,
taken it in
that
stride
somehow, and just.
I think I know what you're talking about now. I think I saw a Yu-Gi-Oh one where it looked like him. But
it was Pacha with the Yu-Gi-Oh
hair, and he had the Exodia cards. And it was like when the heart of the cards is just right.
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly like that. So I love this. So funny. They're great. But no, I love the Saint Cecilia EP. Saint Cecilia is one of my favorite Foo Fighters songs, just straight up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
it's
all
pretty
great.
good.
They're all great. I've been listening. I listen to that more than Sonic Highways, honestly.
Yeah. I just love all the goofy stuff. I didn't know that about them recording in the bathroom.
Yeah.
At a hotel. But that just adds to the... I love how they never change who they are being a rock band, but they're constantly experimenting and trying different things. Like when they made... What was the one... Wasting Light, where they just were like, Dave Grohl's like, he just built like this giant, massive recording studio in his house, and
Yeah,
what's the first thing he did? Let's get the van out of my garage and let's record in there.
Yeah. They have like a $2 million recording studio, Studio 606 in LA. That is beautiful and awesome. It's got the Neve board. I don't know if you guys have seen Sound City. Yeah, they've got a nice like one of the nicest recording boards on tape ever, and they're just like meh. And they lifted it up, put it in Dave Grohl's garage, and recorded there. Then they didn't record in that studio again for Sonic Highways, and then again they recorded in a hotel and not their $2 million recording studio.
Well, that's what Dave Grohl wants out of music, right? Like he idolizes the garage band kind of feel that kind of got them, that kind of started Nirvana. That's really what he desires.
True artistic spirit of it is that they're writing their own music. They're playing their own instruments. They are true rock artists.
Definitely. They're
not using sound recorders or
computers.
Audio. What are the things that I'm drawing a blank on what they're called?
Auto-tune.
The auto-tune machines and all that stuff.
How do you guys feel? What are your guys' thoughts on auto-tune?
Some artists it helps, but it should only be used to a certain degree. Like, if you're just a shitty singer and you're using autotune, just don't use the autotune. It should be just like a little supplement to be there.
Yeah. If you couldn't do what you do, like if you couldn't be a musician without it, I just don't care. I mean, I'm not gonna tell a person that like, oh, you're a failure as a musician because you just use autotune. Because if they're making millions of dollars using it, then obviously they're doing something right and people like it. But for me personally, I don't find it as being, I don't know, I just don't find it as real.
The way I see it... Go for it. Go ahead.
I have more respect for an artist with a generally shitty voice and doesn't use autotune. Like, Timmy would know, like, just name off an artist who actually just cannot sing for the life of them, but is still a great musician. Like, we've had this discussion before.
Dave Grohl, actually, going off Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl uses a perfect example. Like, when he talked about American Idol and other singing perfect example. Like when he talked about American Idol and other singing contest shows, and he said if David Bowie got up there, he wouldn't make it past the first round, but yet he's still one of the most influential and best vocalists we've ever seen. It's because he has a unique voice. And I kind of see the same thing in autotune, is that, it kind of breeds that whole thing of, oh, music needs to be perfect, when really that's not the point of music. The point of music is to be creative and express yourself, and that's through your own voice, not a computer's.
Not a $1 million.
However, I do think autotune is okay when it's used not to make the voice perfect, but give it that robotic sound for the sake of music. To manipulate it, but don't make it so your voice sounds perfect. Make it so it's unique and different. That I'm okay with. Like, it's using it as an instrument and not so much a crutch.
Well, even then too, like when you kind of use the terminology of make a person's voice perfect. Like, what exactly dictates that? Who
says?
That's an argument that we are not equipped. We don't have nearly enough alcohol to determine what the hell perfect really is.
Well, that's my point. Nobody really does.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I don't. I agree with you, man. That I have more respect for somebody who says, "Well, I know that I'm not the greatest in the world, but I'm going to keep trying and I'm going to keep experimenting and trying to make myself better." But it's going to be me doing it rather than using something like autotune. But again, there are countless artists, there are countless musicians right now that use it. Yeah. Because they couldn't be musicians without it.
Yeah.
But
and it comes down. Yeah, even some artists, I couldn't name you one, but I know it happens. Perfect situation of sourcing. So definitely take my word for this. But I can at least see situations where, like, recording companies and record companies and stuff will pick someone because they look good and then
Yeah.
like a lot of artists don't even write their own songs, and so like they write songs for them, have them sing it, auto tune it up, and it's perfect. You know, they make bunches of money because, you know, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think about songwriting? Because it actually is relatively new. The singer-songwriter didn't really come into play until around the, like, I'd say like 70s with the Beatles. The Beatles kind of popularized it, like where you write your own songs and then sing them. A lot of the industry, especially in country music, really was other people writing songs and then artists performing them.
I mean, I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but it's just like the autotune thing. Like if you're not really doing your own thing, then I'm not into it as much. Unlike if you're putting your own heart and soul into the words of the song. But then again, Timmy and I have also had this discussion. I'm not really paying attention much to the lyrics.
Yeah, you're
I'm
more of a sound guy. Riff guy.
I dig the melodies a lot more. So like, I guess the same could technically be applied to actually making the sound.
Yeah.
If you actually wrote the notes on a piece of paper and decided this is what I'm going to do, I have a little bit more respect for you.
I could agree with that. I just I feel like I appreciate it when artists, you know, write and perform their own songs.
Yeah.
But also, what's that band? The Freak of the Week? Is that Freak on a Leash?
Oh.
Is that what the band is called?
I can look it up because I have the internet at my disposal. It's my YouTube favorites list. So give me a sec.
Wait, isn't there's a song from Korn, I think, called
that Freak on a Leash?
No,
I'm talking about
Freak on a Leash, but this is a band. The actual band's name,
Freak of the Week. There's a song called Freak of the Week.
Freak Kitchen.
And,
Freak of the Week is the song is Freak of the Week. The band is Freak Kitchen.
Right, so
look up the music video. The music video is beautifully done.
It's animated by an old Disney animator, and it's awesome. It's a hard rock song, and it's awesome. But to me, that's like their only good song. I don't, you know, sadly, I don't think he's that good of a songwriter, but I really love their sound. Like, I really enjoy their sound, and so like if someone else like was writing songs and they played them, I'd be totally into that. You know, it's just one of those things.
I think that, like you're saying, Timmy, that this whole singer-songwriter thing coming into the 70s, like, it's, to me, it doesn't, it's, I would say I agree with Matt, but to a lesser extent. It doesn't bother me as much as the auto-tune does.
Yeah.
If a person has someone else writing their lyrics for them. I mean, no matter what you do, I mean, another person could write the lyrics for you and then you sing them, but as a musician, you give those lyrics life. Yeah. You are the one that makes them sound the way they do.
Exactly.
Like, if you look at...
You put the emotion in it.
You put the emotion in it. You put the sound to it. You know, if you couldn't do that with the song, then you could have a great lyrics, but a person who has no connection to them or who doesn't care about it at all, they wouldn't sound as good. You know,
I did a paper on product placement this semester, and I kind of talked about in my paper how product placement really works when the movie, like, it fits with the plot. Like, it kind of makes sense for it to be in the movie, like Ray-Bans and Top Gun. It just kind of makes sense. And I think I did a whole presentation on it. It was awesome. But it go back to the same thing. If like someone writes a song and it doesn't really fit the singer, you know, then it's not going to be good. It's not going to work. But yeah,
Dave Grohl's not going to start singing poppy country music.
Yeah,
about how his lover done left him anytime soon.
There's an awesome
also
thing.
Timmy, I just want to say you can be my wingman anytime. had to fit that.
Oh no, it was great because in my presentation I was like,
things that make you go.
Check that off the list.
I was talking about how like it fits with the plot and how like you know, it makes sense for pilots to wear aviators because they wear them all the time. And on my slideshow, I kept pressing pictures, and it was like every single scene of Top Gun, and they're all wearing, every single time they're wearing Ray-Bans, or it's like hooked on their jacket.
Your jacket, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. All right, so my phone just went off a little while ago. It played the ESPN noise. So I have a question for you. And this is something I'm going to give credit. This is not my question. This is from Table Talk from SourceFed. It's from Mike's Little Cup of Q's, which is a bunch of...
I don't know what that is.
It's a bunch of question starters that Mike Falzone from SourceFed came up with, and it's this one.
Okay.
Would you rather
Okay.
replace your farts with a text tone or your text tone with a fart noise?
Well, one of those is very doable. The other one is not. Let's just go ahead and get that off the table right now.
Right.
For that exact explanation, Matt, I'm going to say I would rather have my farts sound like a text tone just because that's a conversation starter right there.
Just...
Yeah, that's the
Like,
thing.
if I fart and it goes doo-doo-doo-doo, people are going to want to be like, what the hell was that? And be like, oh, I just farted. What?
Or like...
You're a freak of nature.
Oh, man. Oh, I got a text. Oh, man, my text smells terrible. Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Wait. So, in this scenario of this question, if I get a text message, will the sound be a smell? So if I get a text message, my phone will smell like a fart?
It's possible. It has to make...
I was thinking it was just making a fart sound.
I would say it has to make the noise, though. Like, you can't put it on silent. Like, every text you get...
It fits so well.
But then when you're in class or whatever, just chilling with your parents, you let out a small toot. Doo-doo-doo. Everybody knows. You can't hide it.
Or
But then again, or they don't know and they just think you're texting.
The question, I don't know. The question just seems kind of boring to me because one of those things, like I said before, one of those
totally
things like
doable.
we have the power to do right now, and the other one is obviously not going to happen.
I still
How
think
are you
it's
going to make your fart sound like a text message, Matt? I don't think that's possible.
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to happen.
Wait, that's not the doable one?
That's not the doable one?
It's
What are you
definitely
talking
not
about?
the doable one.
I totally stick a
Guys.
sound device into poop.
Agree to disagree. Just shove one of those little squeaker things up there.
I assume we have more of these. Questions here, Tim.
Or better yet,
Okay, I
get
don't
one-
have any more of those
Okay,
questions, but I do have a bunch of questions
sound.
for you
Shove
guys.
that up there.
All right, so I don't have any more Mike's Little Cup of Q's, but I do have more questions for you.
More
All right,
what
so
would you
I
rather
pulled
scenarios?
these. They're not would you rather's, but I
Okay.
pulled these off of the eHarmony website.
Oh God.
These
Oh,
are
great start.
these are
This
questions
is gonna be good.
to ask on a first date. So I'm gonna ask you guys a few questions here. All right.
I am a Leo first and foremost, so
How much money do you
that's
think?
my
Some of
sign.
these are kind of lame, but we'll go for it. Do you, or did
Yes, I
you, have a nickname? What's the story behind it?
I mean, me and Matt both played football, so technically our last names both doubled as nicknames.
Right.
But
I'm thinking
there
like
were two Matt Reed. There were two Matt Reeds on that team, so that kind of makes it weird for him.
I've had, well, they're not, none of my nicknames have really stuck, but I've been called a lot of things.
Oh, I know you have.
You called you a lot of.
Most of them relate to my nose. So,
Really?
yes,
Kinda like
really.
around. Wasn't a really good profile there, Timmy. There. Oh no, you went too far. There we go. Look
Ooh.
at that.
I got a question for you guys.
What's up?
Have either of you, and this, I mean, I know this kind of already applies to Timmy because of the whole, like, nose thing, but have either of you ever been referred to as a slur that did not apply to you? Like, it just... Yes, I know Timmy has, for a fact. We've called him such slurs.
My pirate captain name, my pirate ship name is Sailing Master Junos, so there's that. Matt, what were you? Yeah, Matt Simon.
I don't think I've ever been called a slur before. Like, I don't think I've ever. The only one I remember when I was working, when I was in high school and I first got my job in the grocery store, the produce guy that worked there, who was like really weird and crazy, he was a crazy guy, but he asked me what I was, and I told him, I said, I'm Irish and English, and oh, you're a Mick. And I was
what?
Like, yeah. And it didn't really bother me. I didn't really, at the time, I was like, yeah, whatever, yeah, I'm Irish. But that was accurate. It wasn't an inaccurate.
I only ask because I have been called everything under the sun in just strange circumstances.
Asian Matt.
The first one that comes to mind is specifically when I was called it was called a slanty-eyed fucker. I was in line and there was a girl behind me talking to her phone, and I was getting some food, and she was on her phone and she was like, "I'm gonna get some food after this slanty-eyed fucker." And I was like, "Pardon?"
Let us know in the comments below. Does Matt Simon look Asian? But you really need to see him when he first wakes up, because then he will definitely look Asian. You've also been called Hispanic before, right?
You've been called Hispanic?
Haven't you?
Yeah, I've been called.
None
I've been
of
called
these
a dirty.
things are even things that you look like.
Exactly. Well, I have a theory about the Hispanic one, because I was working on the highway department at the time, and I was weed whacking the side of the road.
All tanned
I was
up.
called a guy in a big old pickup truck, like, you know the guy. He's still living. He lives with his parents. He lives off his parents' money, but yeah.
The lift kit, the mud tires, the small penis.
Yeah,
most likely.
You know the
Well,
type.
he drove by, and at the top of his lungs, he yelled out, "Dirty beaner!" And I'm like, I'm white. Bruh.
That is fantastic. I'm gonna start calling you that.
Feel free, I suppose.
On the highway.
Freshman year of college, some black lady called me Q-tip.
Would you have blonde hair?
You do look like a Q-tip, Tim.
I do have blonde hair, and also it was when I had my fro.
It's really blonde.
I had my fro going on, and I was like walking down the hall, and like, you know, I'm a skinny white guy with a lot of hair, and she goes, "I'm my way, Q-tip," and like shoved me, and I was like, okay.
Okay.
So
Q-tip. That's not even a slur.
It's not a slur, accurate. But it's just it was great. I loved it.
It's just funny.
I mean, I've been called fat a lot, but
it's not really a slur.
Not really used to me.
Do you have any pet peeves? This is another question for me and Harmony's first date questions.
Okay. I got a big one. Whenever I'm talking and someone mimics my voice, but they go me 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 me. I shouldn't have even said anything. I fucking hate that.
Mine used to be
with all of my being. Do I hate that?
Mine used to be ceramic plates, like the noise it makes when ceramic plates come together. But I became a dishwasher, so I got over that real fast.
Matt?
So, do you have any pet peeves, Matt?
I feel like I have a lot of pet peeves.
No. Well-rounded guy like you.
Trying to think of like what's like a good one. You know what really? I know a good one because this is one that I saw today.
Oh.
And that's when you see a person riding like a cyclist, a person riding their bike. Their bicycle on this like on the edge of the road.
Preach on.
And it's one thing
let them have it.
When there's no other, like when there's no sidewalk or there's nothing, you know, there's nowhere else for them. Then I understand. And though I disagree with the whole concept of like, oh, it's the sidewalk, you can't ride your bike on the sidewalk, it gets against the law. I don't feel like that's true because when I was a kid, that was the only. I mean, I would ride my bike on the bicycle or on the sidewalk.
It's not against the law.
And so I'm
not
like,
against the law at all.
Yeah, but today, when I was driving on the road, and there was on both sides. I was on Little Hills Expressway. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Correct.
But other people don't know. But it's a long strip of road, and there are sides. Like there are the side of the road.
Not to mention, it's actually a bike path.
Well, I'm getting to that. There
Sorry.
are two giant strips on either side of the road that are not road that people can walk or ride their bikes. It's the shoulder on both sides. And then just like literally 2 feet from the shoulder is a bike path. A giant freaking bike path.
An actual bike path.
Just made. That they spent like probably millions of dollars on this whole bike path.
What about millions?
The price of concrete is nothing to laugh at. It's not millions, but it's probably up there.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a long freaking path.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been a little. And I would say it's probably in the ballpark of a mill.
It goes for a long time, too. It's a long bike path.
That's what I'm saying. They even put that freaking statue made out of bicycles on it to be like, hey,
oh, he's getting heated now.
A flower statue that's like 40 feet tall is made out of bicycles. I'm exaggerating. It's not like
I have not been on Little Hills Expressway in a while.
It is a ginormous flower made out of bicycles.
There's some modern art that's a giant flower. It's got bicycle wheels as the pedals.
It's made.
I just realized it's made out of bikes. Holy crap!
Yes.
Holy crap!
And people still ride their bikes on the road, and then they want to be treated like everybody else on the road, but they don't follow the rules of the road.
They don't. I shouldn't have asked this pet peeve question. He's on a tangent.
They don't stop at red lights. They don't yield. I want to see them get tickets.
I know.
And then there's little bike tour marathons, and they block all the roads for everybody else.
Bike clubs. All right, so here's a question from EHarmony that I don't think I'd ever ask on a first date.
Oh.
So,
what
do you hate about the dating process?
This.
Yeah, I just
having to interact with you people. with Matt almost on a daily basis. At least with Tim, there's a break.
Yeah, I don't understand that question. Why would you ask what you don't like about the dating process on a first date? I guess it's so you know what not to do.
To weed out the lessers.
What if
I don't know.
What if the person tells you like, "Oh, I don't like it when somebody takes me somewhere like as a surprise, or they don't let me know what's going
on the way to a surprise."
Yeah, and you're like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna go ahead and X this off of the list of things to do, and this too." And guess we're not doing anything tonight.
Right.
Well, I have a question. Isn't like EHarmony just one big money trap?
I don't know. That old guy on the commercial seems to tell me it works pretty well.
Is their success rate really what people say it is? Because I'm rather dubious.
I think it is, but there's also another number that they don't talk about, and that's the number of people that try and get into EHarmony but get the axe.
They reject people?
Those guys.
So I think that they're all.
I say guys.
Like, they don't accept it. Just because you get on, I don't think you can always get on. Like I think they'll look at your stuff, and if your answers don't match certain parameters, then they're like, yeah, we don't think you're going to match up with anybody on our site, so we're not going to allow you on.
Interesting.
Because Taco Tuesdays on Taco Wednesday. Give them the boot.
I think I read that on a, again, if this were a perfect world, we'd have a source here, but I don't have it. But I feel like I read that somewhere.
We could have. We're just too lazy to put it up.
I will say what I do actually not like about the current dating process is this whole concept of talking. Like, oh, we're talking, or I'm talking to this girl. It's stupid. You're dating, or you're going to you're interested in. I don't like that it's a phase in in the dating process. Like, you're dating. Like, you hang out, you talk all the time. You're going out. You're dating.
Well, I don't know. I feel there is a part where you're just kind of like, maybe I'm hanging out with this girl, kinda, but I don't. It's nothing serious right now, so I don't know. Maybe we've just redefined. Maybe we just redefined as like our youth culture. We've just redefined the stages of dating.
I guess.
I think that if you're just talking to a person, like if you're messaging back and forth on the phone, or you're actually nobody really talks anymore. I don't know why I did that. People just text message.
If you're texting on your cellular device.
Yeah. Bring the past called 1930s wants their phone back.
These kids are sitting there texting like this on their cellular devices. Hello?
Yeah. No, I think if you're just talking, and even if you're talking and then you end up going on like one date and then that's that, then I would feel like, okay, yeah, you're talking. But if you've gone on a couple of dates, I think you're past any sort of talking phase and you're dating. If date has become dates, if it's plural, you're dating.
So we're all at this stage in our life, and I'm not exactly sure, like, if there's a cutoff or I'm supposed to keep doing it. It's just like a matter of, like, you're talking to a girl or whatever, and you're like, you're going on dates, and then you want her to be like your girlfriend. Or do you ask her to still be your girlfriend? Like, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? Or you just are. Where's the cutoff for that?
Yeah, I think it's just gotten to the point where you just kind of like, yeah, we're an item now.
Like, you don't know, like, you want to be my girlfriend? I don't see, like, we're at that stage where, like...
That sounds so, like, 5th grade.
Yeah, some girls still might expect it, because, like, you do that in high school and stuff.
Yeah, but none of us are in high school anymore.
That's true. I mean, I've done it in college.
The last time I actually ever had to be like, are we... together? Like,
yeah.
Are we a thing?
Yeah. Are we boyfriend, girlfriend?
Are we going out? Well, the last time I actually like had to ask that question was when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Since then, whenever I've been dating a girl, like I'll go like on a date, and then nothing ever happens with it. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, we went on a date, but it's nothing. Then I've gone out on a couple of dates and we've talked and we've hung out and all that. And then I'm like, yeah, we're going out. I've never really, and it's the feeling is mutual in those situations.
I guess I'm in that spot because like I was freshman, sophomore, like the last girl I guess would be my girlfriend. And like, I did ask her, I was like, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? But I just don't know. Like, I don't feel like I'd do that. I feel like we would just, it'd kind of be known if we like were like going on dates and stuff.
I think it also depends on the person. There's some people that like to have that specificity. They like to have they like to know that label is there and that it exists. Other people don't care as much. It just kind of depends.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Could there also be like a biological factor where like one gender specifically wants something more defined, or another gender just doesn't care as much? The definition doesn't matter.
That's sexist.
Yeah,
it's just a question. Like,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so I actually kind of like this question.
Send me the hate mail at 123. This is a fake email address at fake.com.
You heard him.
Actually, send that because it's actually his real address. He's not kidding. All right.
It's space magic.
What was your favorite school teacher or college professor, and why?
Oof.
I actually kind of like this question.
I'd never really had one in high school or like elementary school or anything like that I really cared for. But Dr. Cameron, shout out to my days as a history student at SEMO.
Flexing on them history.
That guy could tell you a story about
He's good at storytelling. I had him for history too.
First and foremost, he hated the French, so I'm already like behind this guy 100%. Like, and Jared can go ahead and go downstairs and ask Jared Timmy. Like, he took a semester-long course on the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars, and he destroyed them. He left nothing to the imagination about just how dumb these people were back then.
So is that why you like him? Because he talk crap on the French?
Not specifically because he can talk crap about the French. Like, I make fun of the French in jest, but like he was easily one of the more competent teachers that I've ever had, and he knew how to teach. Like, he was a very good professor. Just like everything about him was great.
Matt Reed, what about you?
Plus, he was very informed of everything. So like,
yeah, he knew his stuff. I took him for history too, as well.
There were a lot of teachers in high school that I really liked, and a lot of them pushed me to get better. But I think that when I got into college, there's this one teacher who I intentionally was like, I want to take more of her classes. Mm-hmm. And it was Dr. Oliverio. Shout out, Fontbonne University. If you have a chance to take the Dr. Oliverio class, take it. It's amazing. But I remember I think I had her the first time in it was probably my sophomore year. And I was still pretty dumb. I was an English and history major, and I was just kind of skating by on English. I was just kind of like, I was doing what needed to be done for the classwork, and I wasn't really pushing myself or applying myself. And then I heard her class, and I feel like she knew right away that I knew more and that I was better than what I was doing.
What the effort you were putting forward.
Yeah. And she would read my papers and be like, yeah, I know you can do better than this.
I know you can do better.
And so I would do more. And then she would I would respond to questions in class, and and if I were being stupid or if I wasn't, she'd just kind of give me this look like, no, you're wrong.
Right.
And she wouldn't make me feel like, like she was basically she didn't baby me.
Yeah.
She actually made me work. And then I remember it was one day I can specifically remember the class. We were talking about literary theory, and I hadn't gotten to that level yet of like really diving into it. And she started talking about just different theories in literature, and talking about how you can read it and how you can understand it in different ways, and and how to utilize it, and how to look through different theories. And when she thought that, she's like, this is just a very brief look at it, at the different theories, and she was explaining different ones. And
Matt Simon looks like the Mona Lisa right now.
And when I took that class, my brain freaking exploded. It was one of those moments where I had no idea what was going on, but I loved it. It was like she threw me into the deep end, and I didn't know how to swim, but I didn't care. I was kicking and I was trying. And after that, like every time I take her class, like I just feel like I went from, like, if you categorized my abilities as a English student, I went from like a 4 to a 9.
Yeah.
In like after one semester, just because she
drove you to succeed, basically.
Drove me to it, and it so hands down, she's and she knew too, like she would help anybody, but she knew, like, you could tell she kind of knew the dumbasses from the people that were actually smart,
right? All right, so my favorite teacher I've had was Dr. Fwiggy. Shout out. She's here where I go to school, and she's crazy. Let's put it that way. So she's actually, I think she might be insane. But she used to play music every day before class, like contemporary music, not like classical music or anything like that. And like the very first day of class, she played "Fancy" by Iggy Azalea because her name is Fwiggy, like Iggy. There's a good example. And she she used to like play Led Zeppelin and stuff like that, which was awesome, because I love them, and it she was awesome. But just another gauge of how crazy she was. So we had to do a project, and my group did their project on creative problem solving. And so our project was we're gonna give each group a basically we had to give a lesson on it, and we had an activity that we did with the class. And the activity was you're on a deserted island, and you only have these certain resources to get off. You cannot make a smoke signal or a raft.
Wait, say that again?
So the challenge is you are stranded on a deserted island. You have to get off the deserted island to the mainland you can see in the distance. You cannot use a smoke signal or build a raft. And
my question is...
Hold on, I'm not done explaining the activity yet.
No, I need a reason why I can't do the two most,
because
the two easiest things to do.
That's the point, because it's creative problem solving. You have to come up with a creative solution. And then
a
we
creative
assign
solution is circumventing your rules and making a raft.
Each
not the Kobayashi Maru.
Each group was given a shout out to my group, by the way, Discount Halloween Party. Each group was given a character they had to portray and dress up as, and get off the island the way that character would have. My favorite one was Captain America, and so they have to dress up and so he's like, we're going to use our shield. We're going to get on the shield and use 2 coconuts to row our way. This is okay, that's great. So basically we're like...
I don't think that would work because the shield's made out of metal. I think
creative problems. It's funny. Anyway, the other...
Displace the water enough.
The other... so we were going through our characters who was going to be doing who was trying to get off the island, and one of them was Batman. And she's like, I've got a Batman onesie if you want me to bring it in. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, onesie pajama pants. Onesie pajamas. Yeah. She's like, I got a Batman one up in my office right now. Oh, okay, yeah, sure, we'll use it.
Right on.
And then she also, first day of class, she was also like, I might see you guys out at the bars, some nights. I'm like, what? And then one day of class, she's like, I just got in from Portugal this morning. I'm like, what? So she's crazy. But the reason why I loved her so much is because she had a very good way of teaching. I'm a communications major, unlike these history fools. But
history and
right. So
I don't do history anymore.
I know.
I'm going into counseling.
No, okay. So anyway, I'm a communications major. This was a management class, and but she found really, really good ways of teaching. She would give you the PowerPoints, but they would have blank spaces in them. And then while you lecture, you can fill in the blank spaces. It's a really good way. It helps me remember stuff. And then her lectures were only 20 minutes long each class. And then the rest of the class would be spent doing activity using what we learned in the books, engaging, creative, fun activity. And I actually learned the most in that class out of just about any class I've taken. And, she's probably the craziest professor I've had, but she knew what she was doing, and it was a fun class. She made class fun. That's one of the only classes I've looked forward to going to. And so that's why I liked her so much, So, I mean, I really like that kind of teacher where they're, really outgoing, not afraid to do crazy things, not afraid to teach differently.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Were you the Captain America guy that came with the idea of Captain America?
No.
What was your idea for getting off the island?
I didn't have one because we were running the activity. We gave them to different groups and they had to figure it out.
Okay, so Timmy, I got a question for you.
Okay.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You're stranded on an island,
okay,
and you can't make a raft or a smoke signal. How do you get off the island?
All right, so what I'm going to do...
You die.
...is we did give them utensils, and we gave them resources they can use. What I would do is take some bamboo and some leaves, make a glider, jump off of the mountain, and glide to the mainland.
Or you make a boat. That's
a raft.
Because that's what you doesn't matter because it is still effective. Timmy, I think you're missing the point. Be creative all you want, but the simplest solutions are
Not
by
always.
far the best.
Not always.
I always liked there was this this picture. I've seen it pop up on Facebook a few times, but it was that one. It was they asked the cast of Harry Potter, like those movies.
Oh yeah.
If they basically asked them if they were stranded on an
Yeah,
island
I
and they could
remember
only
this.
have one book to read, what book would it be that they would read? And all of them gave like all these like goofy ones, and then like one of the guys that played Fred or George Weasley, I don't know. I think the guys that played him were actually twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
He was like, how to
Go
make
raft.
rap for dummies.
Yep.
I was like,
That's smart.
That's the greatest one I've heard.
So like, not to knock on your fancy schmancy glider there, Tim, but I'm gonna go ahead and circumvent your rules there and just go ahead and make me a boat.
All right.
You know, Matt, I could see you can make the argument that you're making a boat that's not a raft. Like a
It's a creative
raft,
way.
just-
That is a creative way to look at that,
All
man.
right,
It's a
all right.
boat. That means you've got like a whole thing. Like I'm gonna make a boat, not
See,
a raft.
that's another thing that she did. Like there was an activity she did, and like to work. We had to work as a team. It was the activity where you have to take spaghetti, marshmallows, and tape, and build a structure that can hold 50 stacks of paper. And
Oh, we didn't do that.
Oh,
I
you have
did that. I did something like that in another class.
there's one way to build it the highest, and there's another one where you can
Yeah.
hold 50 stacks of paper. And
We did the highest one.
and you know, she's like, she's like, I'm going to give you this amount of time. I'm going to give you these many resources. And then, you know, we all built it, like only like two people stands, one group was higher, so they won. And at the end, she's like, none of you guys asked me for more time or resources. I'm like, we could do that? She's like, yeah, you guys just didn't do it. It's just one of those things, like, it's like a teaching moment, like, oh, hey. And then, like, there was one time, not to get all PC on you guys, but
here we go.
like the very first activity we did, she had everyone getting in groups, and she had us.
Groups.
She gave us different words. She gave us like leader, boss,
Words.
president, stuff like that. People in that manager, people in that position. And she asked us to draw them, and all of them ended
Not
up just
drawings.
about looking the same. You know, white males and stuff like that. And she's like, look, there's not a girl, there's not a a different ethnicity than like a white male. And she's like, you know, that's just like that's a stigmatism and like managing in the workforce and the things that, you know, we might have to get over eventually. So just kind of like just made us aware of that. It's kind of neat. So she always had something like that other than like the takeaways from the book. She always just had like a lesson. It's pretty cool.
No, it's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. So I'm going to pull up one more eHarmony question, then we'll move on to something else.
Okay.
Because these are actually kind of working.
Funny.
All right. I'm trying to find a funny one.
Just want to point out that I have not really answered a single one
You
of
really
these.
haven't.
It's kind of to be expected. The neutral guy is not gonna. Yeah, we could go either way.
I have no strong feelings on
All
this
right.
matter.
So we've actually talked about me as a child before. Sweet little innocent Timmy.
Oh, that's right, the ninja picture. Peter, you know the one.
The ninja
Put Ninja
picture?
Timmy up on there. Oh,
Oh.
beautiful.
Okay,
Ninja
Peter,
Timmy
put
is so
put up my
glorious
Taekwondo
and
picture because it's
badass.
hilarious. It's me, and I'm going like this, and there's like fire like all around me. It's so awesome. So this question from eHarmony is, what were you like as a kid?
Straight up, I was a little bitch.
You're a little
Not even
bitch.
gonna lie.
How
Like
so?
as in like
I
a like a
I was a
sissy, or
crybaby,
as
yeah.
in like
Like I was raised by women first and foremost. Like dad was in the
Is your
field
dad?
constantly. Well, dad was there, but like that's
Matt
not saying my
Grant's
dad was
around.
absentee. My dad was not absentee. It's just
Right.
that like he left child rearing to mom and my aunt. So like I was raised by women, and kind of as such, I never really learned at a young age how to interact with a lot of people. And when it came time to interact with guys my age, I came off as kind of a pussy.
That's fair.
you
No
still
shame in
do.
it.
Yeah. I don't know about
Thank
that.
Matt Reed.
Matt Reed, how are you
People
like
grow
as a
up.
kid?
They
Uh,
stayed the same. Thanks, Matt.
I was pretty awful. I'm not gonna lie.
Were you a bad kid?
Oh, yeah. It's
I could see it.
I raised a lot of hell. Yeah, my parents pretty much have told me that if they had me first, I would be an only child.
Thank God.
Oh, that's terrible. That's so funny.
Drew dodged a bullet there.
No,
That's so funny.
I was always causing issues. I was always crying. I was always making, I was always, I don't know. I got better. I'm not as bad as I used to be.
Turn me into a newt. Better.
I've learned to channel my a-holery.
Right.
And
Well, we always say you're an asshole, but you're our asshole. So,
yeah.
That's why we keep you around, to fill out the demographic.
Yeah. Well, and that was the other thing too, was like I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I guess you could say that I was always causing. I was always kind of like a dick at home.
Right.
But I got picked on a lot too.
Yeah.
Like outside of school or outside of the house, like at school and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I got bullied a lot, and so I think that kind of made me realize, like, I don't know. I would always. I don't know. I got into a lot of fights.
Yeah.
Stuff like. Then we moved, and I was like,
It wasn't building so much. You didn't take that. You didn't take it.
No. Well, when we moved, I was like, it's an opportunity to kind of start over.
Yeah.
And I feel like I kind of did.
Yeah, you did pretty good. So I was a little sheltered as a child, as we've discussed before, which is fine. I'm happy with it. It makes me who I am today. I don't really like some of those TV shows that you guys are all in love with, like Courage and stuff. I'm not into it at all. I think it's weird. I don't like it. But
talking about those shows, Rocco's Modern Life has been coming on late night on Nickelodeon the last few days.
Well, yeah, but like me as a kid, like I was a super shy super shy, and that basically changed once I met you guys, really, and like started doing theater and stuff like that.
We're a bad influence on that.
It's a good thing. It's like I'm a communications major now. Talking to people is what I do. I'm a server, and little Timmy I was the kid that hide behind my mom's leg when I'd meet new people, and like before you guys, I had like 2 friends in middle school and early high school. So, you guys kind of basically broke me out of my shell. But yeah, I was a little shy kid. I don't know. Little shy, little sheltered Timmy. But yeah. All right, so Matt had talked and brought it up, and I kind of like it too. Do you guys have any like work horror stories?
I had one coming into this, and now I've lost it. So come back to me.
Give me
a minute.
You have forgotten. This is your topic, Matt.
Truthfully, like my work experience has been relatively nice.
Yeah.
There's been very few problems any time that I've ever worked there. I mean, at any time, not even there, but like any time that I've ever worked at a place, it's been fairly mild, standard stuff. I would say that the biggest disaster before I started working at my current
called a
job
beaner
at Co-op. No, God, that was. I was more confused. I was more confused than anything.
Right, exactly.
I was working at Beal Smith Brothers,
Mm-hmm.
which is a roof truss making company right below where I currently live, and Timmy and Matt have heard this many times, but my job specifically was to catch wood.
Correct. He had a gay job, just like I had. I had a pretty gay sounding job. Yep. I was a meat server. I served up long rods of meat for as long as you wanted. However you wanted.
I stole perfume, so...
Yeah, we all had pretty gay jobs at one point. And now I'm working at Olive Garden, so I'm serving up people hot sticks.
I would take the wood off the saw, called catching, and I would put it on a cart and send it off. Well, there was a period where the saw broke down, like the only viable saw for mass producing wood at Bealsmith, and it was just a miserable experience trying to catch up every single day afterwards. Because from then on, we went to 10-hour days, which wasn't all that fun.
You almost got killed by a piece of wood once, didn't you?
I almost got killed by a piece of wood many a times. So I'll see if I can't send the picture to Peter, but it's not all that great of a picture anyway. There is a yellow grate that protects me from any debris that might come off the saw. And if the saw blade is angled in just the right fashion, it'll launch the pieces of wood just like a freaking cannon. It'll shoot them off just real fast. So fast that it broke through this yellow metal gate, the only thing that's supposed to be protecting my dome piece from getting hit in the head with wood.
Yeah.
And it would fly across the room and hit the opposite wall and embed itself in the opposite wall. So
that could have been real bad.
Yeah. I could be dead.
You could be dead. We might not have had a Mad Simon here if that grate was not.
It had just been me and Timmy.
That'd been the most exciting podcast ever. We'd just talk about comic books and stuff the whole time.
It would be awesome.
I still can.
Do you have any horror stories from working perfume?
Black Friday.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
So, first time I ever had to do it. First time I ever had to work Black Friday. I was at my grandparents' for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I basically, Thanksgiving was ruined for me that year. And Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays just because all of my favorite foods are up for grabs. So that's one of my favorites. And it was ruined because the whole time I'm like, I don't want to go to work in 6 hours.
Right.
And I had to be there at it was 11:30 or something like that. The store was gonna open, and I was working at the store in the mall. So I had to be there at 11:30. The store was gonna open at midnight, and I get there, and the one thing I'll say, working as a salesperson, I didn't have to sell anything. I didn't have to convince anybody to buy it. It was more like I had to beat away people from trying to take extra stuff.
Right.
And
like a limit one per customer kind of deal.
No, not even that. If I had somebody come in and be like, I want 9 of these, I'd be like, sure. I'll take 9 sales on my
comp or whatever.
On my numbers. I didn't get commission when I did it. But it's still I didn't get commission, but I had to count what I sold.
Oh, okay.
That's weird.
And I also that was the other thing too. The job that I had, I didn't it was a good thing and a bad thing. Because a day like Black Friday where I had 40 sales, 50 sales in a day in an 8-hour period, I would have gotten a lot of money for that if I had commission. But then on a Sunday
where no one comes in
June, or I don't know, May.
Yes, the height of perfume season. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have gotten anything. I'd get a sale.
I don't have a gun. Let alone miniguns to facilitate a gun rack.
Yeah. No, what made it bad though was all the people kept flying in. They're like, I want this, I want that, I want. You don't have this one anymore. What the hell? I need this bag. I need this bag. I don't have that bag. I'm sorry. You need to find it. Okay, I'll go look for you. And the whole time I'm half asleep. I'm only half there while I'm working. Well, there starts to get to a point. This is probably 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I'm it's like a lull. Like people are coming through, but nobody's really buying anything. They're just kind of passing, and I'm standing behind the counter, and I can actually I'm standing there, and I can feel myself like starting to fall asleep. Like I'm starting to fall asleep standing up because I was so freaking tired, and all of a sudden I realize that somebody has walked up to the counter and is looking at the different stuff. And I'm like, "Hi, how you doing today? This is our Hearts and Daggers, and I got the Born Wild. They're the hot new fragrance this season."
Literally selling hard.
Phoning it in. You're just phoning it in at this point.
Yeah. And so I'm saying, and then the person starts talking, and I recognize the voice, and then it all of a sudden clicks. It's my boss. And she's standing there. And she didn't make any I was freaking out.
Probably understood.
Hour and a half thinking, oh god, she's gonna chew my ass and fire me because I was almost asleep. But she didn't say anything to me, and she's like, how many sales? And I told him I had, and I don't remember how many I had. It was a lot, but it was kind of crazy though. All that many people. I spent the entire night behind the counter. I was not gonna walk, and because there were other salespeople who were walking amongst the people. Nope. And I was like, you guys are crazy. Yep. I am not gonna get trampled. That's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna get trampled at the Macy's.
Yeah, especially because you were in a Macy's, which means people go through there just to get to the other parts of the mall too.
Yeah. So
it's crazy.
It was pretty scary. And then I had to do it the next year too, and it was just as bad.
Yeah, I've worked serving. I was a delivery driver, and now I'm back to serving. But I'd say delivery driver was kind of the worst. Really? Especially horror story wise.
I thought you relatively enjoyed that.
I liked it because I liked to drive, but I quit. I just recently quit. I just got hired on at Olive Garden as a server. But I quit mainly because I like my car more than I liked the job. Because I didn't want to keep putting miles on it. I've got a 20-year-old Jeep anyway. It doesn't need any more miles. And I was a glorified dishwasher. Most of my time was spent washing dishes or scooping potato skins. And that's just kind of meaningless labor for me. It's just whatever. And so, that's why I quit. But there's one night I thought I was going to get robbed. I think I told the story on our practice podcast, the very, very first secret episode that no one's ever going to see ever.
Wink.
But
we're going to probably put it up
eventually.
So I'm not going to wink and lie to the fans. It's going to happen.
If we get subscribers, maybe. But anyway,
we don't have those.
We were anyway, I was driving in the south, in the east part of town, which isn't really the best part of town at all. And basically here, any street that starts with an S is basically bad news. So I pull onto South Ellis, and
South Sussex Street,
and there's no street lights. It's kind of a crappy part of town, real sketchy. I'm driving, and a car pulls in behind me, whatever, and then I park, and then they park behind me. I was like, oh man, not like this. Ugh, all right.
Like this.
And the delivery instructions were delivered to the back door. I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. I'm going to go back there. I'm going to get robbed. No one's going to see anything. So I walk back. An older lady opens the door. She takes it. She doesn't tip me. But, it's okay. And so, because it's late at night and I just want to get out of there. So, we make the exchange. She gives me money. I give her change. I start walking by the car. And that car.
She gives me money. I give her the stuff.
I go back to the car. And that car is still parked. And as I'm getting in the car, they start getting out of the car. And I'm like, and I close the door, lock it, start it, drive. Like, I'm just like, not dealing with this. So I still don't know if they were going to rob me. I don't know what was going on. But luckily, where I worked, we didn't have like the car toppers that kind of stand out. Like, hey, we're delivery drivers. We carry money. Rob us. Yeah. You know, we don't have those. So, but yeah, that's really as worse as it got. Aside from washing dishes, which was just, it's just not fun.
Boring.
It's gross too. People are gross.
Just gotta learn how to turn off your head, man. That's literally how.
I know. I rocked out to music the whole time, so it worked out great. But yeah. So and you guys have anything else you want to add? I'm in a Vine. My buddy
Bush did 9/11.
My buddy, I think you can find him on Vine. DJ Little Will. We did a Vine. It's quite funny.
Not to be confused with our Will.
Yeah, not that Will. This guy's name's Ian. His last name's Willis. So. But
shout out to Ian then.
Yeah,
love me some Ian.
Shout out to Ian Flex. But yeah, check out his Vine. He's got some funny stuff. We got some more stuff coming out too. He wants me to be in more of those things, and he's going to be the cameraman for the possible upcoming sketch we got coming out. No spoilers at this point.
Oh yeah, we got to do those.
Yeah,
we got to do other things.
We're thinking about coming out with some sketches. That's what's going on. We're gonna try to do some more stuff besides the DTCP here on Dynamite Hugs. But yeah, that's it for today. We're coming up on an hour. We actually are at an hour, a little over actually. So I'm Tim.
I'm Matt Reed.
And I'm Matt Simon.
Always remember to like, subscribe, listen to us on YouTube, SoundCloud, like our Facebook page. We got a lot of stuff going on over there. And keep your eye out.
Simon in the comments.
Keep your eye out for some sketches. All right, guys. See you later.